Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is Binky here today trying on another scent. Yes, so it is cold, it is snowy, and there's crazy reflections coming from my window. So let's see what this looks like. So I think I'm going to go back in with this. I do like the cardboard ones, or not the cardboard, the paper ones a little bit, but we did many of these, so I think it just makes sense to go back in here because I think we have 6 cents more. This excites me. So then we'll go back to the other one. We will. So what do we have today? It is Sacred Scarab. Now I don't know this one, but I'm gonna get to know this one, and I mean that excites me. Sacred Scarab. I mean, what's not to find intriguing by that? So let's look at the ingredient list. So here you go. Here's the bottle. This is what it's going to look like. It is going to cost you $210, much like T-Rex and Musk deer that I've run into thus far. I don't research them ahead of time because I like the surprise. So there you go. The dogged prospector strikes gold upon discovering a payload rich with nutrients. The scarab returns home. Okay. Like Egyptians entrusting sacred mummies to tombs for the journey to the next life, a scarab bearing its treasure marks the dawn of new life. Okay, I know what a scarab is. I know about Egyptian history enough. I mean, I'm not going to be writing any books or dissertations, but I know enough. And I am really curious. So, the top notes are aldehydes, lemon, and civet. Okay. Heart notes are wine accord, plum accord, blue lotus accord. That's lovely. And the interesting, they're calling them kepi notes, which would be the bottom notes, would be raisin, olibanum, myrrh, galbanum, cedar, wood, juniper, wine, syrax, benzene, or benzoin, oak moss, labdanum, and musk and amber. I don't know why I'm stumbling over that. But I am. So there's a lot going on here, and I don't know. I know nothing about this one. I don't know if I should be excited or horrified by some of these notes, but wow, there's a lot going on here. And for some of them, I don't know what they are, to be fair, unless you're somebody who creates perfumes or really, really like an expert in it. You may not know all these notes, like galbanum or olibanum. I'm not really aware of those, or syrax. Maybe I don't want to know, but I kind of do. So we're gonna give it a whirl. I mean, there's a lot going on with this, but this is what I signed up for. So here we go. Okay, that was a nice spritz. So, there's nothing wrong with your screen. It is still working. I just needed a moment. I've smelled this before. I know this scent, and I do not know what it is. The main scent. I know this scent. Oh, I smell poo. Barnyard. We like to keep it classy, you know. Barnyard. A little hint of barnyard. That is coming. Ooh. Yeah. So I don't want to get that close to it. So the initial blast. Ooh. I hate saying it. I'm just kind of worried that the barnyard notes come through on my skin very well, along with bitter notes is what I'm finding. But there's a main blast that came through that kind of reminds me of Christmas. Before the barnyard scent comes forward, that does not remind me of Christmas, but there was an initial scent that came through that was very holiday-esque, and I don't really know what it is. Then it goes to a very deep, dank place. I mean, they talk about it, and they do. They from my understanding, they would like dig into the ground and like make balls of stuff. I think that's what scarabs would do. I mean, I'll do a little research, but I think that's what they would do. Is they're not like dung beetles. No, they sure smell like it if this is what they smell like, but oh no. Oh no. Barnyard. A salty one. It's not just like with Camel, it was very much Barnyard. This, for me, is a salty poo. Yeah, it's salty. So it's like salted caramel when you get that chocolate. This is like that, but with Barnyard. So it's a salty Barnyard, which is really confusing. I have never smelled anything like this in my entire life. And I used to babysit as a teenager. So there you go, for young kids. Oh wow. So it's just salty. Let me try it here. Oh no, that didn't help. Oh, now it's on my nose. Okay. So this one's tough. There is a lot going on, and part of me doesn't even want to sniff out the notes because I don't want to get that close to it, but yet it's just going straight up. So, but let me try. Okay, so there's the Barnyard, number one. Then there's some type of floral trying to come through, and then kind of, and then there's myrrh. I do get myrrh, so it's like this churchy vibe to it now. So it's, again, visiting that Camel, where it was like frankincense, where it was outside a Gothic cathedral. There was a barnyard. This is kind of reminiscent of that. Now it's going to more just animal, not necessarily poo, but like an animal-y scent. No, it's poo. Barnyard. So you definitely get the myrrh. I definitely get that. I do get a hint of lemon. So now it's mellowing out on here. It's starting to mellow out where it's more lemon. Now the poo's still there. So it's a lemony poo with salt and myrrh. Wow, I know. I'm selling that one hard, Zoologist. Selling that one. I need to read this. I don't know. I'm not getting the wine or plum accord. I am getting a sweetness. So actually maybe it's the blue lotus. I am getting a floral, so I imagine that is the blue lotus. I do know lotus enough. The myrrh I am definitely getting. Getting the cedar. Now they see it, I am definitely getting the cedar. Yep. With the amber. Once you look at the notes, you can start pulling them out. The problem with this scent is that I'm really getting that strong Barnyard. This does not make me feel good. Luckily I'm not going out till later on tonight, so I won't be going out smelling like this. But we don't know what this is going to morph into in an hour, so I don't want to be unkind because this one's really tough. So out of the ones I've tried so far, this one's really tough. It's right up there with T-Rex. The difference with T-Rex was it was just like a meteorite charring a creature. This is straight up floral, salty, myrrh poop. That's tough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait an hour. It's going to be difficult because this is not one that I'm enjoying as much as some of the other ones. But who knows? Maybe it'll morph into something so beautiful when the Barnyard Accords go into the ether somewhere. So yeah, so I am going to check in an hour. Wish me luck. Okay, it has been an hour. We are back. So I am happy to report that we are past the initial Barnyard, which I think I said at least 30 times in the initial spray. That was a lot. I'm going to be honest with you. That was a lot. So I did some research because some of the notes I'm not as familiar with. I know the major ones, but I'm not, I don't make perfumes. I'm a huge fan. I know a lot of notes. I know what I like, but I'm not a novice, but I definitely don't own a factory. So here we go, not her, so bear with me. But it's the aldehydes. That's what it is. So I did some research because initially when I got the blast, I was like, I know that scent. I know that scent. So the aldehydes, basically, it's what they used a lot, apparently, in like the 1980s perfumes to give it a really big blast and to give it the dramatic sense of like the 80s and the 1980s where everything was big and bombastic. And I have smelled some of these perfumes because I have a couple, because a friend, I got it from somebody in their family. They didn't want them anymore. And let me tell you, I've smelled these scents. There's like one in particular, it was a long time ago. I'm going to add these to these videos, but it's that large scent that they used to really do back then. It was, you know, it was the 80s. Everything was big, you know, and crazy. So that's what that scent was, I think, was that it kind of had this, I don't know, almost like hairspray, or when you're spraying out of a can and it's that blast of the scent that's used in there to spray out. I don't know. I'm kind of getting that a little bit now, where when I move my hand around and this is wafting up from my shirt, I'm getting a little bit of hairspray. Interesting. Yeah, it's a little bit of that hairspray scent. So I will say it's not as barnyard as it was. I hate saying this. So what I get is more of a myrrh scent. So this is very, I can see why they went in the direction they did, because it's very, she likes it. You like that fecal smell? It's actually more urine. But we'll get to that. So it's more of like a myrrh scent, and I'm getting the lotus and myrrh mixed together with a little bit of hairspray in it, a little bit of bright hairspray. Yeah, which that's what aldehydes are used, is to brighten a little bit. You can smell metallic, soapy, things like that. So I'm definitely getting that. Myrrh, lotus, and I hate saying it, a little underlining smell of urine. Very little. Very little. It's just, it's kind of like a little bit that acidic scent is down there. At least the barnyard smell has moved past. So let's try it on here. It's all aldehydes here. It's all aldehydes and lemon here. Yeah, I don't like that as much. So on my clothing, it's aldehyde and lemon. It's not for me. It's just too much. It doesn't have any complexity to it except for a sharp hairspray scent to it. It smells like hairspray with lemon in it. That's for me a no. It's better on my chemistry. Of course, your chemistry would play very differently than mine. Here, it's not as bad. This is more, okay, this is very similar to camel. I think camel and sacred scarab are very close to each other in kind of the direction they were going. It has kind of, I don't know, this one, how to describe it? It's kind of dark. It's kind of dank, but not dank in a bad way. It's more of, I get where they're going. If you're going into a hole, it's that feeling of dark dankness. It just transports you back to a different time. Like I could see this being worn in ancient Egypt or something. Very much so. It's strong. It's very strong. I don't think I mentioned that because I was so shocked by the initial blast. It's a very strong scent. But some may even say it leans a little bit masculine in its presentation, but you wear whatever you want, because I wear scents that some people are like masculine, whatever. You wear what you want. These are all supposed to be unisex, but some people may say it leans a little bit more masculine. I wouldn't be against wearing it if it didn't have certain factors to it that the underlining urine scent, it's very little, it's very minute, but it's enough. It's just like, ugh. I mean, maybe that's just my chemistry, but it is better. But it is very cloying because it's very strong. So I'm curious where this goes in 4 to 5 hours. I think it will mellow quite a bit, but boy, oh, I do not like it. I don't like to make faces like that. I'm sorry. It's just, it smells like hairspray. And from what I've heard, this truly is the 80s with the bombastic scents and hairspray. So there you go. But we're going to check back in about 4 hours, because that 4 hours would make it about the 5 hour mark. So right around there. Okay, so it's been about 4.5, 5 hours, and I am back to check in. And the scent is still very present. It's still very much here. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this one probably isn't one of my favorite scents at this point between the wrist. So I'm still getting a scent from the wrist and from the shirt. So between the both of them, I'm getting this again, kind of like camel, but different. This salty, churchy, fecal smell. So it came back again, and I think it's not so much on my wrist. No, on my wrist it smells like myrrh. Actually, it smells very much like myrrh. And the floral's gone. It's very spicy. It's very spicy myrrh. The floral scents are gone. The lemon scent is gone. And it's very much of almost like a church feel to it. A little bit louder, perhaps, than some people would wear today. But that's not always true. Because, I mean, I like a good scent with a lot of sillage and a lot of power behind it. That's me. I want to leave a trail behind me. I want people to smell me coming. I mean, maybe not that bad, but I'm not afraid of a heavy scent. But it's very, I don't know, it fits very well. I could see this like being worn in Egypt back at that time period. And it's nice. It's nice-ish. The thing is, that's how it smells on my chemistry. The one on my shirt, I'm still getting fecal matter, or barnyard. It's more fecal. That's what I'm getting, which just does not bode well for me. It smells like a floral hairspray with a little tinge of fecal. So now that's how it plays off on my shirt. It doesn't play off like that on my chemistry. I get definitely mostly myrrh at this point on my wrist. A saltier, kind of like spicier myrrh. Here, it just smells like, it actually gets a little bit of cedar, hairspray, and fecal matter. Yeah, not my favorite. So I'm having a hard time with this one. Part of it always, as I say, chemistry plays part of it. It wasn't as bombastic as it was when I first put it on, where it was like, wow. It wasn't that at all. It did mellow. I think that this would work for certain people depending on what your body pulls out. I'm finding that my body really likes those fecal smells. Fecal, salty, bitter, everything that I don't necessarily love in a perfume, but that's what my body's pulling through. And actually the myrrh smells really good. It really comes through. There's a sweetness to it. It's a sweet, salty kind of umami. There you go. Myrrh, and it's not bad. It's not bad, but myrrh and frankincense are not scents, along with patchouli, that I tend to wear a lot. It's just not my vibe so much. But it may be yours. Maybe it'll morph like that to you. I would suggest with something like this, I do find this a little bit more challenging, T-Rex, camel, then maybe with all these lines, or with all the scents within Zoologist, I really recommend trying the samples first. With this one particularly, I do think it's a smart one. This isn't, you should with all of them, because they're quite pricey. So you don't want to just dive in head first, you know? So get those samples, try them out. This one I found to be a little bit more difficult, just a little bit more difficult. And part of it is I was just pulling out the fecal and the urine underlying scent. I appreciate what it represented of the sacred scarab or dung beetle. I do. I appreciate it. And that's why I love this house, is because some of the scents can morph very differently on you than me, but also they're very specific to the animal. And I feel like the animal was captured exceptionally well here, or the insect. And I think it worked. It's just, will it work for you? I feel like this one is very much a scent that's going to be a lot more difficult for most people. Yeah. I do. I stand by that. Wow, what an adventure that was. So, it did last a long time. The scent is very strong. It had high sillage at first, strong scent. I could still smell it almost 5 hours in. Oh, that barnyard smell. So, this one is one of the powerhouse ones. This isn't like cow, which is there briefly and then boom, dissipates. This is more on the level of T-Rex, where it's going to stick with you a little bit longer. And if you like the scent, that is fantastic. It was a bit much for me, but it lasts really well. It's worth your money. And if it works for you, fantastic. So there you go. So to rate this, how would I rate this? It's very difficult. I appreciate what it was going for, but for me, it just did not work well. I'm going to give it a 3.5. The thing that served it, or that saved it, was the myrrh on my arm. But it took a while to get there, but due to the fecal and perhaps a little bit of urine notes that were there, I'm gonna give it a 3. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna give it a 3. I take it back because that's what made it difficult. The animal scent to it, I can appreciate, but it doesn't work for me. So know that these ratings are maybe very different for you, but for me, I'm gonna give this a 3. This is definitely towards the lower end, maybe a 3.5 because of the journey it took me on. But I think that would be it. That would be it. So yes, one of the more difficult ones, but I'm glad I tried it. It was an experience. I don't know if I'd try it again. I'm going to keep a lot of these for friends to try. I should have them on here and see what they have to say. But there you go. But until next time, when we try yet another one, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.